All right, we are back here on the podcast, getting ready for the Masters. First round tips off this week on Thursday at Augusta National. Join me today to break it all down. Our resident golf guy works at the PGA Tour, Dan DeMartini is here. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. Glad to be back. And we are, as you can see, the way I'm dressed right now with the President's Cup logo. I'm ready for golf season.
Yeah, Dan's gonna hit the course a little bit, get himself in the golf flow. Like golf is having a good start. So tell me a little bit what's going on in the early part of the season. I haven't kept up as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. Obviously, John Rahm got everything started, big name, winning 3 events early in the year. Kind of fast forward, you've got Scotty Scheffler winning events again. He's just exploded onto the scene with the Players Championship. And then we get all the way into last week for those of you that watch WGC Dell Match Play. Dell Match Play, the final four basically came down to last year's Rookie of the Year, Cameron Young, versus Rory McIlroy, and then Scotty Scheffler and Sam Burns. And most people would have thought that it would have been a Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy final. But believe it or not, Cameron Young and Sam Burns played in the final, and Sam Burns got it done. So it seems like every year Sam Burns in this time of the year gets red hot. He did it last year, beating Scotty Scheffler in a playoff. He's a two-time Valspar champion back to back. Sam Burns is a legitimate threat to win every single week. So he's somebody definitely. I know we're not at kind of sleeper picks yet, but he's a name that has burst on the scene and he deserves attention. So it's been fantastic. If you look at the FedEx Cup standings, I mean, you're dealing with John Rahm, Max Homa, Scotty Scheffler, Keegan Bradley, Rory McIlroy, Kurt Kitayama, who was a great name and a great win earlier this year, beating Rory McIlroy. You've got big names in the top 10, and that's what people want to see.
Yeah, for sure. Here, also, I'll put a bow on this because we talked about this last time on this podcast here. We talked about Full Swing. It's been renewed for season 2. It's very exciting for golf fans. Really enjoyed that show.
Oh yeah, and people, obviously it takes everybody different amounts of time to watch full seasons, but between season 1 and what they're doing for season 2, and hopefully this just keeps going. It's just great inside access. I know you would text me your thoughts on an episode the other day too, so it's really interesting to see. Next, obviously, the first season covers a lot of the divide within the golf world, professional golf world. Season 2 is going to focus obviously a little bit more within those storylines, but now where we're at, fast forward, another year, and we're going to follow some of these up and coming names on the PGA Tour and guys like Tom Kim, hopefully, and even the Kurt Kitayama story, and we're just going to kind of get some more interesting perspectives into players that you're going to see for years to come. So very exciting that we're getting a whole nother season.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited to get the Masters underway this week here, and obviously, I'm looking at the leaderboard here. Obviously, like we're talking about last year's champ Scotty Scheffler here. Like, I mean, look at the odds right now according to CBS Sports Line. They got day of recording here. He is the second favorite to win the Masters here. Do you think he has a good chance to repeat here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. His game is really tight, even though he didn't win last week. He's put himself, he's just so consistent. He drives the ball incredibly well. He's not the longest hitter, but he's definitely out there on the upper end. He's wildly accurate with his approaches. He can putt the lights out. He knows that course. He has the confidence there. A lot of guys get nervous, like, oh my God, the moment is too big for me to be a Masters champion. And Scotty just plays golf. Like, he's just a very humble, normal family guy. You see his wife, his parents, his sister, they travel everywhere. Like, he's a guy you just got to root for. He just wants to play golf, and he doesn't even, I wonder if like 20, 30 years from now, he'll look back and be like, holy crap, like that was a big moment and I did it. So he's just they always talk about the best athletes and they have that mental capacity to handle big moments. Like they step up, they don't shy away or they don't overthink it. He has the mental capacity to be a multiple major winner. So it's just going to keep growing. And yeah, I know John Rahm is probably is the favorite, but just based off of what he's done so far this year, but don't count out Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, and this guy may not be on top of the leaderboard based on like where he is in his career and whatnot, but obviously everybody's gonna care about what Tiger Woods is gonna do here. Obviously, he makes the big return the last couple of years. He's made the cut, hasn't got too deep. Do you think he can maintain that progress and make the cut and be here the whole weekend?
He can absolutely make the cut. We haven't seen him put together, back to back weekend rounds going low, like old days Tiger, where it's just like as soon as he knows he's got a chance, he just blows the field away. Do I think that he can hover around again through the weekend? Absolutely. Tiger is such a unique, entity within the space. When he's not going to play unless he thinks he can win. He knows his game. He knows everybody else's game. He's such a true student of golf, and like he knows what Scotty's doing well right now. He knows what Rory's doing. He knows what John Rahm is doing well, and he knows that if his game doesn't match that, then he's not going to play. And so you just cannot count him out. He needs to get off to a good start. He has got to be. Normally at Augusta, the scores are, we had a couple years where they got to like 15, 16, 17 under. I don't think that'll be the case. Or at least I hope not. I like it better when the scores are like the winners right around like 10 under, 9 under. So if Tiger can hover around even for, or 1 under, 2 under the first couple rounds, then why not? Let's see him make a top 10. He needs that to kind of reestablish himself. But once again, he's got to go for it. Everybody wants to see him win that next major, and he's got to play loose and free and take chances, because that's the only way he's going to beat these guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's talk about some of these favorites. You want to bounce a couple lanes specifically here. Obviously, John Rahm, the betting favorite right now, heading into the tournament. He's 15-2 at CBS Sports Live right now. Like, what do you think about John Rahm's chances here? Obviously, he's best finish here is 4th back in 2018.
Yeah, Rahm is a guy who at any point can go low and shoot 8 under. The question is, what does he do in rounds 1 and 2? And does he put himself in a good spot, not just to make the cut, but where he is a threat to go low on moving day on Saturday and then be in contention on Sunday? John is a scary guy to see within the top 10. If you have a lead, you have a 1 or 2 shot lead, and he's behind you, and even though there's only 3 or 4 holes left to go, he can easily birdie his way out and just be that dominant. He's got the game and the confidence to do it. The question will be, has he gotten enough reps recently? Does he feel good with the putter? And does he put himself in good spots off the tee? Because you can get in trouble very quickly if you're not hitting fairways at Augusta. So, or at least putting yourself on good angles for the second shots, because there's a lot of dog legs and there's a lot of tough tucked pins. So you've got to be very, very specific with where your drives go. So, yeah, absolutely deserves to be up there. I would probably lean towards Scotty just because of like what he's done in the last month. Like he looks like he's at A+ game. Rahm is like an A game right now. So I would just lean a little towards Scotty.
Yeah, the guy I want to talk about here, Rory McIlroy, obviously number 3 on the odds boards right now. I think about 17-1 here. And he's been chasing that Masters for a long time, trying to complete the career Grand Slam. He's got 7 top 10s there, including a number 2 finish last year. Do you think this is the year that Rory can finally get that over the hump and complete the career slam?
All right, I'm skipping ahead. Yes, I do. I have Rory winning it this year. I think that the last few weeks he has been tuning himself up to make a serious run. He wants to win this. He's won basically everything else you can win on the PGA Tour that is, that what he wants from a meaningful standpoint towards his legacy. And he absolutely is going to go for it this year. He's at the perfect age, perfect experience. He's had some good success recently. And I have to say that this is the year, and I'm skipping ahead already. I'm picking Rory to win. I want to see him finish it. And I want to see him kind of establish himself as one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I also 2 other guys I want to touch on here on the leaderboard. Actually, a couple more I'll throw out here real quickly. Here, Jordan Spieth, who we saw full swing last year, like in the episode, like focusing on him a little bit, and like he's had success here in the past, and he's one of the like early favorites here. How do you think he can do?
Yeah, Jordan's game is tight. Like it's good. Like he's had a very strong year. He's been in contention in a lot of places. He has not had too many blow up rounds. He has put himself in on cuts, contention on Saturday and Sunday. Like Jordan is a sneaky pick too, because you kind of look at him and say, all right, he won a few years ago. Does he really want it that bad? Like yes, if Jordan if he has it, he's another guy who has to get off to a Thursday, Friday start, a good start, and he's got to be, 2, 3, 4 under pretty early, depending on what the rest of the field is. He can't be a guy who is 12 shots back on Saturday. I think he's got to give himself a realistic look, 5 or 6 shots at most, and he's right in it. But I think that at him at 15-1 justifies not just the respect to what he's done at Augusta in the past, but to how his game is shaping up right now.
Yeah, go also his full swing episode buddy, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, well, I look at them kind of as 1A and 1B, and you can intermingle the two of them. Both of them, I think it would be really cool to see them kind of playing together, both trying to push a top 10, but why not? I absolutely like what he's doing at 16-1. Hard to think that Justin Thomas isn't gonna, he's a guy, it's very different, Jordan, in my mind. Justin Thomas has the game that I think that he could be 12 shots back, and all of a sudden on Sunday, it's like, oh my God, he's racing up the leaderboard. Like, he can go low fast. He's done it at the Players. He's done it at a bunch of other places. We saw it on Full Swing. Like, don't count Justin Thomas out.
Yeah, and obviously the last favorite reference here is this guy has been coming up as a bridesmaid at a lot of majors here. Will Zalatoris here, I would be like, I know as a guy who's like a casual guy, like seeing how he's been so close to no cigar so many times, it'd be nice to see him finally get one.
Yeah, Will's been battling some injuries this year so far. Every time that he's at Augusta, his game steps up. It fits perfectly for what he does well. His strengths are accuracy, long iron, being able to hit greens and reg. The question is his health. And it sounds like he should be pretty good to go. And, he's one of my not so sleepers. So you can't count him out.
Yeah, for sure. Here, speaking of the sleeper, let's go there for a minute here. Like, who are some sleepers you have your eye on here? People may not be as aware of that you think could do well this week.
Yeah, there's a few names. Obviously, Corey Connors. Corey, I think, is currently in like second or third place at Valero. And so he's playing really well right now. He seems to be a guy who's like always like early first couple rounds. He's either like leading in second or third. Like, he always gets off to a pretty good start. He's established himself as a very talented, good player and solid player on the PGA Tour. And I think that this could be a breakthrough year for him. He's a guy whose game matches up particularly well. I also really like Tyrrell Hatton. Another guy who's had a pretty good year so far, and he might surprise him. He's one of those grinders. Like, if he gets a lead, he might lose it, but then he might chip back. Like, he just won't go away. But if he, as long as they're putting themselves in position on Thursday and Friday, he'll be looking pretty strong. So I'd keep an eye on him. It seems like both of those guys are going out at 55-1. So I would definitely count those as sleeper types. Another guy that I'm really shocked at, he's played a lot of golf this year. He's been out. I saw him in person at Valspar. I walked with his group for a bit, was Justin Rose, who's at 65-1. Rosie is at any given point, the moment is not too big for him. And I think that he can absolutely go out and be in contention and finish in the top 5 for sure. So I would say definitely Connors, Hatton, and Rosie would be the 3.
Yeah, I was looking at one name on the board. It popped out to me. I don't know if you could speak to how he's been playing. We talked about in the past year, Tommy Fleetwood, 75-1.
Yeah, it's such a shame because Fleetwood's had a great year too. He's had a couple of close finishes. I think a third place finish. His game is best as it's been in the last time I can remember. So if there was ever a year where he was going to break through, it might be this one. So if you're on the Tommy train, this is a good year to go with that one.
Absolutely, Dan. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. People want to follow you on social media. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm at DMart207 on Twitter, and I'm that golf guy. So if you want to follow, I'll be reposting some stuff throughout the week, and everybody enjoy it. And hopefully we can, while getting through the work week next week, it's always interesting for people on the PGA Tour that I work with, because while the Masters is going on, it's very quiet because this is one that they run the show, and our players are obviously playing there, and but we get a nice little breather and can appreciate the entity of the golfing world. So it's a nice chance for us to reflect on what we do on a daily basis and the product that we're putting out. So hope everybody enjoys it. Hopefully you can get out of work early and watch and then have some little Masters gathering next Saturday and Sunday and enjoy it.
Yeah, Easter Sunday for the Masters does feel like it does fit very nicely.
Lots of families all together, huddled around a TV. So enjoy it. And, I'm not going to be able to make it to Augusta this year, but I am absolutely planning to try to get there next year during the week. So